My name is Pat Farrow, and I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan. You know, I found the scales exercise very interesting. It was a structure that allowed a going within, and a going within at a progressively deeper and deeper level. And as a therapist, I see myself as someone who lives, really, and assists others in living within the inner realms. I believe that gaining access to these inner realms is very, very important. So I think the scales exercise is a tool that assists people right off the bat, you know, when the first time they sit down and do it, in going within and going within at progressively deeper levels. And as I looked within, I learned things about myself that I really didn't have the awareness of. I do a lot of looking within, but with this scales model, I did really come up with some new information that I hadn't really had access to before. My son also did the scales exercise, and he said it's a mathematical computation, I think maybe he said, which I don't even understand. But he was dumbfounded with the mathematical concepts that came together in the scales exercise. I think that's fascinating because I think that the scales offers a way for maybe men who might function a little bit more from their left brain to engage with the change process in a different way than we maybe traditionally as women engage in the change process. So I just want to say as an aside that I think it's especially interesting for males. What was revealed to me was a surprising way that I was hiding from the world. I didn't know I was doing it. What I did know, and this is what I started out focusing on with mine, was how I put people on pedestals. And I saw so many people as so much more powerful than myself. And what I learned with the scales exercise was actually the function of doing that was kind of taking myself off the hook. So if I put them up on a pedestal, then I didn't have to take responsibility for putting myself out there. What I had been doing is I'd been diminishing myself in that process. So what I learned in my scales process is why I had been doing that and what the fears were that I carried that caused me to do that. And that it was a little bit safer for me to diminish myself and a little bit easier for me to elevate others. So it was very important and interesting learning about myself in that exercise. What the world needs now is as many people activated as we possibly can have, because this is a very unusual time on the planet. Jean Houston says these are the most interesting times and the most important times in human history. And what came to me a few years ago in my guidance at this important time that we're in is that at this time, whoever can be used will be used and to the highest level possible. So what we need is, pardon the language, but we need more soldiers. We need more people activated in this extraordinary wave of change that's occurring on the planet right now. And as we all know, if we don't shift this trajectory, the direction that we've been on for the last probably 5,000 years is not a very promising one. We live in a world that nobody thinks about their insides. Nobody even thinks about their insides. We live in a world that's almost totally driven by the external, by the material. So the experience with the scales exercise, which is very user-friendly for someone who maybe hasn't had any therapy, who doesn't understand these concepts of looking within, it provides a very clear, structured framework for looking within. So maybe it opens a door for people to start recognizing the value and the power of looking within themselves as they desire to create change in their lives and to create change on the planet. So anyone who can be enlisted, I think it's very valuable that they are enlisted in this endeavor.